All right, guys. So today we're going to do a video on Shoreline and how I make 500,000 to 3 million rubles per raid. Now, in order to do this, guys, you do need to have the keys, right? Because the majority of people don't understand that there's value in almost every single room that you can open in the Shoreline resorts. Without hitting every room in this resort, 9 out of 10 times, you're not going to make a shit ton of money, right? You only make money in this game if you're able to find the loot that others cannot get to, right? Early on in the wipes, if you have more of these keys than someone else, you're going to be making a lot more money than everyone else. With that being said, guys, we're going to go right into an offline raid, and I'm going to show you every room and what is in each of these rooms and what they have to offer to you in your journey through Tarkov. Do not think that hatchet running into this place is going to make you a shit ton of money, guys. That's a very big misconception, right? Until the loot is changed to something where it's like completely dynamic and anything can spawn anywhere, hatchet running is not going to make you nearly as much money as someone who fully clears a whole map and is actually enjoying, assaulting through the map instead of, dying and instantly losing their find and raid status on all their stuff. There's no sense in rushing your way through Tarkov because all that's going to do is cost you in the long run, right? You're going to have less fun. And the whole point of Tarkov is to have fun. And if you can have fun while making money, do it. Don't be like a lot of these guys who come in with nothing. Now, if you go in with nothing, expect to leave with almost nothing, right? And a 300K LEDX isn't worth as much as an LEDX you can sell in the market for somewhere around 1.1 to 2 mil, depending on where you are in the wipe, right? So with that being said, guys, we're going to hop right into it. All right, guys. So the biggest thing that dictates whether or not you're going to be the first one into the resorts is dependent on where your spawn is. There are very few spawns that are directly next to the resorts. And the ones that are, depending on your experience level, you're going to know which ones are going to be the first one in, right? Into each building. So this one, for instance, this could be one of two to get into the west building. There's a spawn over there on the beach, spawn there, another spawn directly over this way, over by this house, and then one more spawn all the way down there, right? This one is pretty much the closest. The only downside to this is boss scav can be spawned in this area, and if you fought Sanitar out in the open, Sanitar 9 out of 10 times will kill you, right? These buildings are not worth going into, even though they have safes and stuff in them. Unless you're looking for a specific item for a quest, it would come from a safe. It is not worth going into that building, all right? Now, 9 out of 10 times, if I get the spawn down here, I'm going to be the first and or second person into the western side of the resorts. Now, with that being said, guys, as we make our way up to the resorts, if you are in the spawn that we just spawned in or the one that's near the beach, this is the most direct path for you to take without getting shot while running into the building. There is a chance that as you get up here to the very top of this platform, there could be a player waiting for you, but that would have meant they would have had to spawn directly over on the far end over there, past all the power lines, and would have had to make it there as you're coming up. Now, generally speaking, the best spawn is directly to the north of the west building. That one will get you into the west building when you are max strength and or stamina in under 80 seconds. Now, when you guys enter into Shoreline, you want to keep in mind that boss scav can spawn in this area. This is another dangerous area to fight him. You don't really want to fight boss scav outside because their grenades actually lock onto you. I know it sounds crazy and stupid, but they throw them directly in the air and then they land directly on your head. Okay? So, just to give you guys a little reference point, this is admin, which is north. Then we have the west building over here and the east building over here. This is one of the most dangerous places to come in. When you do come in this way, depending on which side of the map you spawn on, if I spawn over in this side, I'm going to come up this way and go through. I'm not going to go into this avenue of approach here because this is where I'm going to die from, most likely. Because players typically, like me, will get in on the backside first, will hear you coming, will stop around this area and shoot you as you run through this way. You're less likely to get shot when coming up this way by heading here to check to see if the blue key card spawns on this ambulance, which, if you aren't familiar with the ambulance, the spawn is right there. For blue key card, I found 2 in the last year and a half, right there. Now, when you do come up this way, guys, it's very rare that someone will go into admin first. And that usually probably, if they are in there first, it's because their keys that they're carrying dictate where they go first. Now, when you're like me and you have all of these keys, you get to choose wherever you want to enter in, and you can clear as you go and do whatever you want to hit all the rooms. And that is what a player will do if they're just trying to make money. So to up your guys' survivability, especially when you're going to the eastern building, if you come in and you're one of the first couple up here, it's always best to shoot out this window and come in, and then you can clear through like so. You'll generally see that this door is open because it doesn't render closed, right? But if someone's already down there, you can actually see them through this before they most likely will see you. Don't ever try to shoot through this. This will deflect your rounds in different directions. Sometimes it goes straight through, sometimes it doesn't. You need to make sure that you can see directly through this. It's a lot harder for a player to see you through this crack right here. We're going to go over this area first. This west building is one of the areas that I commonly spawn on the most. Boss scavs typically will be standing in this area, down there, or inside these rooms on the left. So when you come in, you got to come in with caution. I usually have a flashlight on when I come in because the flashlight does actually blind the boss scavs. It gives you a little bit more time to get rounds down range onto them, which allows you to push forward and keep clearing. So this key right here is your 110 key. You get this from Sanitar. Really good key. You'll find that there are multiple LEDX spawns. LEDXs can spawn all over this floor. Speak of the devil, they can spawn inside the shower, as we see right here. They also have chances for more meds to spawn back here. I'm uncertain if LEDXs spawn back here, but just assume they can because meds do spawn there, right? There is a lot of loose loot here that is worth a lot of money. Usually you're going to find your ravens, your vases, your gold chains. See this? Gold chains, all kinds of stuff like that. Food can spawn in here if you need it, as well as LEDXs. I believe these boxes do spawn LEDXs unless they've changed that in a recent patch. 110. And then 107 has a chance to spawn blue key cards. Alright? So this is also another one. The problem with this room, guys, is it makes wood noise. Right? Now, typically, by the time I hit this room, guys, I am usually first one in the building, if not second. I've killed someone who's already in the building, moving into loot. Once you get into this area, on this first floor of this building, you can hear people coming in from all sides, especially in this area. In this area, you hear people coming up through here. You hear them coming up the mountainside over here. You'll commonly hear them jumping. You'll hear them on the metal back here, and you will hear them running through this way. Now, what I do is I come in real quick. I check for blue key card. There is none. I grab any good meds, any good electronics. We'll hit these for the scopes. You need the scopes for quite a few of your quests and stuff like that. And then we will immediately move out. Now, in a normal run, I will close this door behind me, and then I'll close this door as well. So that if someone is coming in behind me, I can ambush them. Because odds are, if you want to win your fight, I come in fully geared with ammo that kills people. So when these people come running in, your hatchlings and all that stuff, the first place they try to check is 110. And when they try to swing into 110, you just let them run for a little bit. And then you do a little slow peek. You can kill them here, or you can wait till they get here. When someone's in full sprint, it's a lot harder for them to shoot you. All right, guys? And it's easier for you to win fights. You can do that, you're going to win way more fights, because people who hold W don't understand how to play this game for survivability. They only play it to get kills, right? Or rush to loot spots. One thing you'll hear me say multiple times is don't rush to get to loot, because that's how you're going to die the quickest, right? Rush to get a tactical advantage, because that makes more sense. Now on this floor, we have med bag in here. Computers. I don't hit computers, guys. If you're going to hit computers, I recommend interchange for that. So the next building we're going to hit, our next rooms we're hitting are 226 and 222. I recommend, once you can, get both of these keys. Because sometimes people only open one door. And if you're trying to kill somebody in this room, it's a lot easier to kill them by having multiple avenues of approach rather than walking into their sights. 222 and 226 have an LEDX spawn. There's also a rare spawn in a box that you would be surprised, but lots of people miss it. Now, your LEDXs have a chance to spawn here, here, and here. You can find multiple LEDXs in this room, right? There's also a shotgun that spawns here, as well as foods and more medicine that spawn here. And this is 226, guys. There's also food that spawns here. Now, in this room, you're going to find graphics cards. Graphics cards will spawn here, 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 and there. There's a chance to get up to 4 graphics cards.
And Tetrises.
I've seen 2, but every spot on this table where stuff normally spawns can spawn a graphics card. So you can imagine how much money that is, especially early wipe. Especially if you're not holding on to them. That's 4 mil right off the bat. Now in here, as you can see, this is a rare item spawn. Inside here you can find bitcoins, badges, pro kills, all kinds of crazy rare items that you need for quests. And a lot of those items sell for a substantial amount. Now this room here, 218, has a chance to spawn a red key card. You want to check this area, and you want to come in here, check the table, as well as the barrel and this. This is where they commonly would spawn if they do spawn. It's a very rare spawn, guys. If you get it, it's GG's, right? It's a good card to get to sell. Now, if you really want to hold on to it, to use it, the best time to buy Red's key cards is in the very beginning of the game when they're down to 10 to 30 mil. Near the end of the game, near the when it's about to reset or they're about to wipe, they're roughly around 80 million, right? 40 to 80 million, it's not worth it. You can't even make that money back, in my opinion. Actually, you can have a utility room key that can open this door if you don't want to spend the absorbent amount for 328's key. The quest items that you need to get from this room. And it also, that utility storage key will open multiple doors on the other side of the building as well, which have things like jackets and rare spawns. Not really rare spawns, but like tool spawns. So on this table here, you have graphics cards. I've had up to 2 graphics cards spawn here.
And Tetrises.
Euros spawn on this table. This is all your rare item spawns. Murs and stuff like that spawn here. That sadly is not. But a Mur, which has to be found in raid, will actually net you close to 60 to 80k because it's needed for some builds for a mechanic, as well as most Chads want those extra stats to be able to sink rounds into you. A lot of people forgot about this little desk right here, but this desk spawns bitcoins. It's very rare nowadays, but back in the day it spawned them a lot more often. Now you're going to find gold chains, bitcoins. It's very rare. It's a very rare spawn. Just come by, check it real quick, and then, leave. Now, next room we're going to go to is where the dead scav would be. But first, I want to show you a little cheeky room. It's called 327. 327 has a med bag spawn, as well as more tools, as well as these little duffel bags. These duffel bags can spawn everything in them. Now, early on in the wipe, guys, I hit these bags like they're candy because you're going to have fuel conditioner. You're also going to have paracords. They're going to have all those items you need for trade-ins for like your red Roubles and things like that, like in your sick cases. So in this room, we're going to call this marked room. A lot of times, rare items can spawn on the ground here, which is going to be your silver chains, your gold chains, your lions, your horses, all those cool things. You also want to check Pigman. Pigman always has a chance to spawn really good items. Not this time, but you never know. Also, a lot of people ask me, hey, Rek, why do you grab these strike cigarettes? Strike cigarettes can be traded in for BP rounds for the ASVAL. So here we have 316. 316 it's got some really good spawns in here. There's usually MVGs that spawn in here. They'll spawn on this table. as well as this scope right here, which is something you do need for a quest, one of the Night Force scopes. Those go for roughly around 200 to 300,000 early wipe. So these boxes spawn good stuff. There's also more things that spawn here. Like, see, this goes with the night scope, 34 millimeter. This right here would have completed one of my quests for the mechanic, and it would have completed yours if you needed it. See, understanding the items that are of value in this game also helps you guys in your success to making a shit ton of money. Like early wipe, these all sell for like 200K a piece. Like this right here, oops, this right here, and this right here. And to find both of them in the same raid, this will save you a lot of money in the long run. So, but once again, guys, remember to do this, you need to run and buy as many of these keys early on. And once you already acquire the keys, you can sell keys as you pick them up. And until about 6 months into a wipe, or 4 to 6 months, somewhere around there, those keys are going to retain their value for a while, at least until people all start to gather those keys, right? So right here we have 314 and 313, both really, really good keys. There's also an LEDX spawn here. So you got your loose loot right here for all your attachments for weapons. Gold chains and money can spawn in here. It's very rare. Same with on there. Once again, more tools and stuff. Your LEDXs can spawn up here, as well as you got a little bit more items to loot in here. Med bags and, just the normal stuff. Nothing too crazy. Now, 310, this is a key that's actually spawns in 2 places on customs. Really good key as well. There's the rates have been nerfed for what actually spawns in this room, but your Bitcoins, your cats, badges, anything you could think of can spawn in here that is required, that is jewelry basically. Like your lions, your cats, pro kills, everything. Once again, early wipe, guys, these are amazing to search. It doesn't seem like it because, we're only looking at a few of these, but in this map, in these resorts, there's like roughly 10 to 15 of these bags. And if you're looking for certain items, these bags are going to find those items for you, whether it's Lupo's beans, whether it's fuel conditioner. All of those things are amazing, right? Now, for those of you guys who are going to ask how my route normally would be, this is how my route would normally be coming in here. I usually always clear bottom floor up, right? And that's because in this map, it's more beneficial for you to be on the first floor early on, because that's when people are more likely to come in. And then later on, people are going to be wasting time going through the rooms you've already looted, and you're already going to be cleared and out of this area into the next building before you even have to usually engage anyone, especially if they're coming up later, right? So 308, really good key, as well as 306. This is all in the east building, right? So in here, you can find scopes in there. You got your liquor, your booze. From what I've been told, in some of these rooms, if you see like the paper on the floor here, there's a red key card that can spawn in multiple rooms on the floor next to beds. I believe it's this room and also a room over here on second floor, which I'll point out to you guys as well. So one fun fact, guys, do not, I swear to you, please, unless it's super early in the wipe and you've got this key and you really, really need computer parts, do not search these 4 computers in here, right? The reason I say interchange is better is there's less areas for people to sneak up on you through when you're doing it. And when you search these, it makes a very loud noise. Like this noise is amplified by like 100% when you're in here searching. The reason we search this so fast is because our search levels are so high, right? One thing you guys want to pay attention to is USBs can spawn in all these computers. I check every single one of these computers. I check in here for gold chains, for silver chains, and there's also a DVL spawn right here, right? So if you need a DVL or you want to, pick one up that you can sell earlier on in the wipe, you sell for quite a bit. You can find them sometimes laying across this right here. Now, don't be alarmed. Sometimes you're going to find a backpack laying here. Check it. There could be some good loot in there. It's usually an MBSS. Usually has some okay items in it if you're lucky enough to find them. Now, we're going to go into admin, but first I want to show you guys 205 and 206. So 205, really strong room. lots of rare items spawn in here. We've also got another chance at a scope spawn as well. So inside here, there's going to be all types of rare items that spawn: bitcoins, your cats, your lions, your horses. You also are going to have food and beverages that spawn here. And next room, you're going to have a chance for DVL to spawn here. I usually don't hit that up late wipe because DVLs aren't that much value to me late wipe. Right here, you're going to find meds on all of these boxes, right? There's also a gold chain and money spawn around this area, and every single one of these boxes are kind of worth opening. Now, little pro strats, guys. If you have all these keys, it's better to just open all these doors because it's going to give you the ability to flank and move from room to room and be unpredictable, and that's how you're going to survive the most. Early wipe, too, it's nice to have this door open because a lot of times people come in, they're going to hear you on the second floor, they're going to throw grenades up, and this gives you a really good and easy place to get to be safe. All right, so next things next, guys, we're going to go hit up admin. Now, for those of you who come from my Shoreline flanks videos, you understand that I never actually enter through admin through this area, and very rarely do I go in through the theater. Because the theater actually in that level, the theater level actually renders sound on both this floor and the second floor, right? So if someone's in this office, they're going to hear you on inside there on both these levels. So that gives away any element of surprise you have, especially if you're regular walking. Now, a good way to check to see if someone's been in here before is you'll see if this door's been opened, right? As you guys can see, that door failed to render. Well, when you look through some areas of this building over here, into here, that door fails to render and you can kill people through it. It's very easy to do. I do it all the time. Once again, Shoreline slays videos and flanks. You guys know it already. So this is what I generally would check to see if someone's already been here. Another indicator is a quickly clear here, and then we move through. We listen for footsteps above. We check for the LEDX spawn down here. So there's an LEDX that can spawn here on the floor, as well as food as well, right? And other med supplies. There's also a food spawn in here. More med spawns here. Now, once we get through here, we hear no footsteps, so I usually make my way up. Best way to do it is I get a swing out wide to clear this doorway, and then we come over to the left, make sure this door, if it's open, then we know someone's been here or they could be here. Because these are doors that are generally closed, right? We go up, first things first, quick clear, look left. I've killed so many people doing this because you see someone to your right, you can slap them real quick because you're like, oh, boom. And then you hit them and you move through. Now, always check for USBs. We always check. I don't stay in here very often for very long. We check for USBs. We want to get in and out because from here, depending on the time of day, they can see clear as day in here and you cannot see them, and vice versa, right? So always open this door real quick. If this door here is open, there's a possibility someone could be in this office area somewhere. So I always do like a quick clear, and I'll move to here. We'll clear deep. We'll see that no one is in that deep corner. We'll clear here, we'll clear this, and we'll come back through. GPUs spawn here, and they can spawn here, as well as touch. There's also keys that can spawn on the desk here. These safes are usually always worth hitting, even though you're fully exposed here. Normally, people aren't looking in here. As you can see, they've added flash drives to safes now, which makes a lot of these quests a lot easier that you guys are going to be stumbling across. Always check this for USBs, all right? So we go in here. There's a chance for graphics cards, Tetrises to spawn. So the small table can spawn a red key card. Flash drive all over here, all over there. Tetrises can spawn here and there as well. Anywhere I've said that a graphics card can spawn, Tetrises can spawn as well. Okay, guys? Now, another cool thing I want to show you guys, and this has to do with map knowledge, is this wood here travels to this building all the way over to that building. As a player who plays this map a lot, I can tell you this wood also, this sound right here, travels to this building. Me telling you this is to let you guys understand that if you move in these areas, be aware that people who are wearing contacts possibly will know your direct location. So don't assume that when you're moving on these wood objects that people can't hear you. It travels forever. Next thing, guys, we got ourselves another safe that I want to show you. Little pro strats here. There's a chance also, guys, for graphics cards and other electronics to spawn here. It's very, very rare, but it does spawn there from time to time. So right here, this safe is another good one. Usually you have to open it. Your head's exposed right here. Then you can open it and move back and grab the loots from there as well. Really good loot here and there, obviously. Worth it. Next thing you guys want to check for is the 219 key. 218 key.
My
Early
bad,
on
boys.
The wipe, the 219 key can sell for a couple $100,000. This is a good key if you come across it to not only grab for yourself, but to grab so that you can use it, you know, in another area. As in the flea market, which a lot of people won't be able to hit the flea market till level 10. So I don't ever recommend going through here, guys, because there's no way to escape here without having to shoot through glass, and you're highly visible to someone that's going to be in any of these areas. You want to be able to have freedom when getting shot from the left, to be able to prone out, or to be able to just move through and have other options. This is a kill zone. This is as well, but it's less of a kill zone than that. So first things first, guys, there are multiple areas down here that can spawn a red key card. This desk here also spawns money, and inside here as well. If you guys can't see that, it's right here and right here. Check both those locations. Now there's tons of bags under here if you guys are looking for specific loot and or bitcoins and or whatever that's really nice, like your, you know, your bolts, your nuts. Those bags are going to have them too. So this is another area where you can get propane, alkaline, dry fuel, anything you may need for quests is worth checking that area out. Now a lot of people will hit this 112 room without actually clearing through. This key noise travels around that corner, right? So from 112 to this corner plus, you can hear people coming or opening that door, and they can run out and shoot you before you finish your animation. There's also glass sound over there that is very easy to hear. Even though you don't think you're making a glass noise, you are making a glass noise when you walk through there. So in here, there's a chance for a blue key card to spawn here, as well as money. Food's here, as well as other items here, like blue key card can spawn there as well. So we're gonna go check 104. 104 is an area I don't really like to hit much because there's nowhere to go if someone comes in through here. And this is my least favorite spot to have to engage someone from, because the only place you can go to is here to hold a deep angle. But you can kill people through this deep angle, but it's very, very dangerous, right? So you can kill someone here and you can swing out and you can try to kill any follow-ons, but it's not usually worth it, at least not for me. So blue key card can spawn in here. Check the desks. Usually it spawns in there. Check for meds and other things that could be in here that are of interest to you. There's not really much else in here. So because it's only loose meds, I usually don't even hit this room. Realistically, guys, blue key cards, red key cards, their spawn rates are ridiculously low. I've got thousands of raids and I've only ever found 2 blue key cards and 2 red key cards, right? That's in 4,000 hours of, playing this game. Down here, guys, you can find propane, power banks, filters, gas mask filters, stuff like that. All that stuff can spawn here. Good stuff. So generally, guys, if you ever come up here, you always want to check in here, this little small closet, just in case someone could be camping there. This is also your utility rooms. You can open that with that key I mentioned earlier, and we'll show you the key as well. Also opens this one up here. 3rd floor, not worth hitting, guys, unless you're looking for specific things like ammo. The ammo's been nerfed significantly, so it's still probably not even worth going to 3rd floor, because the only place you can go in 3rd floor is into these rooms over there, and then this is your only way out. So if someone knows you're up here, you basically have to fight your way out. Now, if you want to up your survivability, don't go in there. Just saying. Because if I'm on 2nd floor and I hear you above me on 3rd floor, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come up like the honey badger I am and wait for you and then kill you, right? So when I come through here, guys, I always open the 224 door. Now this is to give me a way to flank and push through and kill people instead of having to fight them by looking down this hallway, because it's whoever aims better, right? I want to be unpredictable, so I want to be able to move left to right, left to right. When coming up here, guys, I always hit 221 first. This is when you have all your keys, and then I'll swing over and hit 220. Now 220 has a shit ton of meds that spawn as well as weapons boxes. So you'll have a med spawn here, 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 and here. Weapons box, weapons box, weapons box, rare items, bitcoins, lions, all this spawns here, right? This is all things you're going to want to hit. Now, the reason I open both these doors immediately is it gives me the ability to go back and forth. I can jump off balconies on both of these sides, and then I can counter flank and kill people who are down here or who are down here waiting to kill me, right? This is huge, and this is something that as a veteran player you learn more and more about and understand more, instead of just giving your gear away to an ultra chad who can only aim down a hallway, all right? This gives you the ability to sneak up on them and honey badger that ass out of this game, aka lobby, all right? Money spawns here. Meds spawn all over this. Meds you guys want to look for are going to be the serve kits, the CMSs, your gold stars, your Vaselines. All of those are going to sell for a lot, especially early on in the wipe. Also, you can use a lot of them. Now, I use painkillers a lot early on in the wipe, but I might switch over to Vaselines more so after I've made my first mil to 2 mil. And that's because of the convenience of not having to re-painkiller every, minute, which sucks. But the advantage to doing painkillers every minute is that you're going to be able to work on your hydration throughout the map as you're going through. Right? You're going to be able to eat more, drink more, do all those things. Now, there's an AK that can spawn here, and M4 that can spawn there. All right? Worth it. Always worth it. People buy those M4s like they're hotcakes early on. Usually you can make 100K just off of that. Just off of selling an M4 you found in raid. You also need a few M4s to do trade-ins for some of your quests. Now, those are far later in the line, for the quest chains, but you are going to need some to trade in. Now, it's up to you if you want to sell them early on and have to buy them later, or, vice versa. It's up to you. You are your own player in Tarkov. You can choose how you do things, right? So, in here, guys, there is an RSAS spawn. Super rare now. It used to be a VSS and RSAS spawn. They've gotten rid of the VSS, and now it's like maybe 1 in 20 raids or more, the RSAS will spawn right here. All right. Now, red key card can spawn here and here. So check those areas. Once again, very rare, guys. I've always killed people who've come into my chat and said, I found a red key card. And that's cool. I'm glad they find those things. But it's very rare. All right. Very, very rare. Don't just run a map thinking you're going to find it. It's not true. Now, 216, very dangerous area to hit. And I'm going to tell you why. You are completely exposed to not only what's behind this bookshelf, but a person that could possibly be looking down this hole right here, right? This hole is very dangerous because they can shoot your legs. And if you're not on painkillers, you're not moving anywhere fast, right? You're just going to die because they're going to leg meta you. Now, inside here, guys, you have graphics cards that can spawn here, your 1G phones, as you guys can see, wires and all kinds of other electronics. Down here, you can find magazines. Typically, PMags are the ones that have the little counter window in them, so you can see how many rounds you have in your mag. Those will have M855A1. They'll have M995 in them. Always worth picking up. There's also an M4 spawn around this area as well. You're going to find ammunition spawns here. So like right here, we got FMJ, some US, all that. You can find BP. You can find all kinds of good high-end ammo that you can sell to other players who are willing to spend premium 2 to 3 times the price of what you would pay for those types of rounds, right? Sell to them if you want, boys. Just make all that money. Meds spawn all over the place here too, as you can see. Once again, and then we have grenade boxes. These are always nice to hit. Grenades are awesome early game and late game. They allow you to do so much more than people realize. But 216, very dangerous. I don't recommend ever jumping over this barbed wire, guys. The sound, travels forever. For me, it's better to just go down back to the first floor or go all the way to the basement and come back up and around. This is the last place I will check when I come through the resorts. Usually because it's got a lot of potential for money, but it's not really that great. Does that make sense? It's not worth it because it's a higher threat area to die in, right? 306, this is a key you're going to need later on for quests. There's 2 dead scavs. There used to be an M4 spawn in here. I'm not sure if there is anymore. There's also loose meds that spawn, as well as drinks and food all over the floor, and loose money. So good area, early game, late game, you're going to want to filter out your keys and switch to something different, because this is a really bad room to get stuck in during a firefight, because a grenade can kill you when they throw it in. And I mean, even though this bathroom's open, not a premium place to get into a firefight. Now, down here, guys, when you clear 301 area, first thing you should do is check to see if these doors are open. Any of these doors are open, someone's here or has been here. If one of these doors is open, assume someone's here, get ready to fight. Other thing, always check this stupid corner here where there's bushes. There's a chance that a scrub could be sitting in the tree. Easy collapse. When you come through, no doors are open. Check here, check here. That's going to up your survivability. You're going to be able to kill people who are just camping like scrubs. Now, before I go in here, if this whole area is clear, I will open both these doors, and then I'll move to 301. Now, the reason I do that, guys, is it gives me the ability to go into one room and then to this one. And I've got clips of me running through when getting shot at, jumping up, transitioning to here, and then popping people in the heads. I've killed multiple people doing this, as well as killing people who've pushed to look into that room right here, because they can't differentiate between the wood sound here and there, right? Because by the time they get to that area, it all sounds the same, and we're moving so fast, they're not going to see you, right? So this is good things to understand when you're coming through this map. This is why I come in fully geared, because I'm prepared to fight. I want to take my loot plus your loot, right? So inside 301, graphics card spawns as well as LEDX spawns. There can be up to 2 that spawn here for LEDXs. Also, they can spawn on the floor here. Sometimes they don't render through that little mat. LEDXs can spawn on this table. I found one here and one here in the same round. And I found 2 as well in the same round on these little water jugs as well. So, given on what time in the wipe it is, those LEDXs can sell for anywhere from 1 million to 2 million rubles per. All right, this is just me showing you guys how to make money in here. I'm not looting because that would take freaking forever. All right, guys, and I want you guys to understand that. I want you to learn how to make money like I do, not just put together a video of me looting this whole place and you seeing what I have in here. I've got plenty of videos where I've got millions of rubles in my person or on my person while coming through this building. You can check those out if you like. Personally, as a veteran player, the money that I make every round doesn't matter to me. What matters to me is surviving the raids, right? Because ultimately, whether you survive the raid with 500K in items that you can sell to other players or 3 million is going to be the difference in how much money you make throughout this whole evolution of your gameplay. Now, whenever you guys see these big green crates, it's nice to search them because there's a chance for the red rebel to spawn inside there. There is one of these here, and there's one in the other room on the second floor, 209 area. I didn't show you guys that because it's not really that safe of a spot to hit. I don't like to hit that area very often. Now, the last room I would hit, guys, in this area is going to be your 205 and your 203. I open both doors. Typically, I open 205 because it's behind cover. Now, just because it's behind cover, you still can get shot through here, right? And it's not going to show it. Hold on, let me see if I can duplicate it. There you go. So you can still shoot through it, as you guys can see. Let's see if we can. It doesn't show on this side, right? It doesn't render through, but you can shoot through this, so you have to be very careful. And a lot of times people think you're cheating when you kill them through it. that concealment they think they're safe behind, you're using that to kill them, right? So keep that in mind if you're a newer player. These are things that you will want to keep in your toolbox for later when you're coming across people who think they're invincible, okay? So here you got med spawns. There is a MP5K spawn, I think, that spawns right here, as well as you can find those 7.3 rounds, Luger rounds, that you can sell on the flea market in magazines. Sometimes you'll find meds and food here. Red key card can spawn on the floor here. Meds can spawn here and here. And usually, guys, I like to open this door because people who are dumb like to run across without a care. Like, they just run across. You can usually hear them in the 205, 206 area on the wood and or jumping. And this is why sound discipline is huge in Tarkov, because an experienced and or skilled player will understand where you are based off the sound that you emit. So anything you do, assume someone can hear it and be prepared to counter that, right? So most players will try to run and jump over this. They'll clear out this whole area. If this is the first area I clear, which is the whole east building, and they're running through after hitting the LEDX spawns, I'm going to kill them on their way over. They're going to lose all their find and raid, and I'm going to get all their free loot, right? That they've already gathered, that they didn't stuff in their gamma. So these are important things for you guys to understand, okay? All right, guys, so we're going to talk about why I don't hit this gas station down here. This gas station, the fire burns you pretty badly, right? And for the loot that's inside there, they've nerfed it actually a little bit. There used to be way more military boxes and stuff like that. They've gotten rid of a lot of them, right? And that fire will do roughly around 300 to 400 damage to you early on, which you don't have much life to begin with. And who has the amount of meds to waste on that, right? Now, there's usually roughly around 3 scabs that'll spawn in this area. 1 or 2 of which will be usually down here or up there. They usually fluctuate. It all depends. Now, areas that players are going to most likely hit you from, or you're going to hit other players from, is going to be this little rock, face right here. It's very common for people to snipe you from there. As well as, a lot of the reason they'll watch that area to here is because there's a key spawn that shows up on one of these chairs, and it's for a 222. It's for one of the 200 series keys that usually sells for quite a bit of money. So keep that in mind, guys. You can find free keys there that you can sell for a ton of money early wipe. Now, I see a lot of newer players and even some of the older players, so just full Chad run down this road. Past here to just get straight into the actual lighthouse area. The problem with doing that, guys, is you're fully exposed. In my opinion, if you're going to come into here and you're going to leave here, the best way to do so is to just come straight down and follow this path here, right? Because doing so will grant you safety from anyone that's on the hill to your left or anyone that just rolls up. It's very rare that they'll be able to see you until you pop up here, and then by that time, you can most likely hit somebody that could be, dilly-dallying and looking this way or something. Now, one other thing to keep in mind when you guys come into this area, you can shoot through these cracks. So if you hear someone prone out, this is the first place I go to kill people if I hear someone prone out or I hear movement. Because in all these cracks in this area, you're able to shoot people through those cracks, right? A lot of people may not know this, but you can jump over this area, and you can also utilize these cracks to kill people as well. All right? There used to be, back in 2017 up until I think 2019, a crack underneath here where players used to be able to shoot you in the windows from below. So it's a good thing they kind of changed that out. It's made it a little bit harder for players to do those things. Now, in my opinion, when you guys are fighting boss scav, this is probably the better path to take, because if there's a boss scav here, they won't fully push you, and if they do, they're going to push to this area, which should give you a better fighting chance versus them. And once you've cleared that area and they're dead or they're gone, next place you need to look is here and here. If you swing out, you stay close to the wall, they have to force themselves to move to you. You have a flashlight, you can blind them, and it'll give you a few milliseconds more to put rounds on them to kill them before they ultimately, you know, end you, right? If they throw their grenades and do whatever they do. Now, in my opinion, and this is just my opinion as someone who's played this game for a couple thousand hours, I never go back here unless I'm looking for a specific key that's up there. But generally speaking, having gone through that phase of searching for my keys to save money as opposed to buying them, I find that buying keys early on in the wipe are actually more beneficial to you than it would be for you to find them, right? It's also more time consuming. And time in Tarkov means a lot. That's a lot of time wasted, money wasted, resources wasted when you could have just bought them and had the key anyway, right? Now, keep in mind, up there on that box, that key is very rare. And also the box that you can search down there, as well as that little junk box that they hide all the new stuff in, armor and guns, not really so much worth it. You can check it. Maybe you'll find some really good armor, but I don't know what the rates are going to be like for all those things in this next wipe. Okay. So down here, guys, this scav is worth hitting. But you also have to understand that there's a chance there could be a couple scavs in here as well as boss scavs, right? So, generally speaking, if a scav is in here, they're going to be in this immediate area. And or there's also, keep this in mind, there's a key that can spawn here, as well as juices as well, right? So, that's a very interesting thing to look for. Scavs will usually be in this corner right here, or over in this area right here. So when you do come up, you can clear through to hit these vaults, which are the only thing I'd really take my time to waste hitting is the vaults, and to check to see if these have USBs in them. There's two computers here. There's this one, that one over there, and there used to be more down here, but this door has been locked since, I think, 2019, maybe it was 2018. End of 2018, this door is no longer able to be open. But there was computers and stuff in here at one point. So, all fun facts. Maybe those things will change. They'll bring them back. Who knows? But this scav right here is really nice too. So, I like to use this area to hit people who are coming through. Really good vantage point. You can also come a little further back and hit people who are up here when it's not as foggy. Little fun facts for some of you guys. But always keep in mind that this is exposed to your right. So, hopefully you guys enjoyed this little guide, this little walkthrough how I make my money in this game on Shoreline. Hopefully this benefits you in, you know, the slightest, the leastest, you know. Hopefully this benefits you guys to the point that where you will actually come in fully kitted and fight for your loot instead of hatchet running and doing all the things that some people tell you is the most fun to do. Because in my opinion, I'd rather have a chance to die and or win a fight than just die every time. So that's why we don't run with hatchets, boys. And that's why I don't forgive hatchet runners. I always kill them. So another cool thing, if you guys want to hold really good angles, this is a good angle here, as well as here as well. But I usually loot this area and I leave as soon as possible, right? There's no sense in staying in here for too long. Now, when I exit this area, I don't come out the front here. I'll usually go out the back side over here. And by doing so, we drop down, come around. We'll ensure that this is clear, which normally I'll do from this vantage point here. And we'll just go back where we came from. This allows us to hear people who are coming in from our right, as well as hear if any scavs are up here that we may have missed on our way in, like killing and whatnot.